What a difference a week makes. Come on, sneaky little so-and-so. Come here. Come here. Good girl. Hello and welcome back to Field Study, an exploration into the wild food of the British Isles. It's another gorgeous spring day down here on the Isle of Wight, and I am in one of my favourite places to harvest wild garlic. And I'm harvesting some wild garlic ready for my dinner this evening. Now this is a thing that I like to build into my working week. I always like to get out and forage for some wild garlic at this time of year. Not only is it very, very good for you, but it also helps you break dormancy by getting out into the beautiful sunshine and out into the real world. Now I wanted to take the opportunity to just let you in on a few things that are happening down here at Field Study that you might not be aware of. I've kept it a little bit quiet on the channel over the last 9 months. That might be a little bit of a clue. But me and Abby have had our firstborn child. It was this time last week, in fact it was exactly a week ago this morning that my son, my firstborn son, was born. And before you guys ask in the comments, he was fit and healthy and he's feeding really well, and we're incredibly happy. A little bit sleep deprived, but incredibly happy. Yeah. So even though at the beginning of this year I set out to do a video a week with like a cooking segment in and lots of foraging stuff, it just hasn't worked out that way. Stop fidgeting, please. What can you smell? It hasn't worked out that way. You know, it's the best laid plans and all of that sort of thing. But whilst I haven't been generating videos for you guys, which is a thing that I will be getting back into now the baby is born and we're just finding our feet with being new parents. But yeah, whilst I haven't been making videos, I've been out leading sort of real world courses, and I have really enjoyed doing them. In fact, it has made me absolutely steadfastly sure that this is my calling. This is my purpose on planet Earth, is to teach people about the landscape as a whole. So thank you so much for your patience, and sorry that I kept it so quiet for so long. I just didn't know how best it was to sort of just bring it up in a foraging video, which is why I've sort of done this on the side. But yeah, oh, pheasant. So whilst having a child has meant that certain things have sort of taken a back seat, I really intend going through this year to put an emphasis on field study and making this happen. And you guys out there are, you're right, Fern, come here. You guys out there are the reason that I do this. So thank you for being patient. Thank you for being there. Normal content will resume shortly. And who knows, you might even be able to see a cute little baby on his first foraging trip. It's exciting, isn't it? So the wild garlic really is super abundant here in this patch of woodland. And I'm lucky enough to have really, really abundant patches of wild garlic near me here on the island, especially on the chalk ridges in the centre of the island. That's where I recommend going to look for it if you guys live down here. But it is, it's super abundant, and it's just starting to come into flower. So you see all of the little flower heads that are growing on it now. So I'll be taking home some of those for dinner as well. So I know that I am one of the only people that picks from this specific spot here. So I can keep an eye on how much I'm taking, so then I can understand the sort of impact that my own foraging practice has on this colony of what is a beautiful British native plant. But if you are going into woodlands, especially if you are foraging for commercial reasons, if you're supplying sort of markets and trendy restaurants, and this has become very popular for, putting on menus, even in, posh gastropubs and stuff, they have wild garlic dishes now. But if you can't be sure that the pressure that you're putting on the ecosystem is not going to cause damage in the long run, if you cannot sort of certify that, then I would look towards other members of the Allium family to get that beautiful garlicky flavour. So the chemical that makes garlic and onions smell like garlic and onions is a thing called allicin, and you'll find it in lots of the health food shops in little capsules and things, and it's sort of that spicy, pungent, garlicky flavour that you get if you ever eat raw garlic. And it's very, very good for us. It's amazing for our immune system. But allicin is a sort of really pungent, volatile chemical compound. And our sense of smell has actually evolved to be able to pick it up in sort of microscopic quantities. That's why you can always smell onion on your hands if you've been chopping onions. And why when the sun sets here in the wild garlic forest, the air is sort of perfumed with that sort of heady garlic scent. But the reason that we are so sensitive to this specific chemical compound is because all members of the onion family, the Allium family, are edible. We can eat them. So we have evolved that super sense of smell to be able to detect that sort of garlicky aroma. So then we can find food plants, just like butterflies and moths know the plants that they're meant to eat, just like all species on the planet sort of innately know and can pick up on what is a food plant from them. We are able to smell members of the onion family. This is why when teaching beginner foragers how to forage for things like three-cornered leek, another excellent member of the onion family that you can eat, and also wild garlic, is we get them to crush the leaf in their hand and sniff for that really intense garlicky flavour. Unless you have a blocked nose or something similar to that, you will always be able to pick up on that garlicky flavour, and it should really slap you round the face. If you're smelling a leaf and you're saying, I think I can smell some garlic in there, then it probably isn't wild garlic or a member of the Allium family. And that is because we are so sensitive to the allicin in these plants. So if you really give it a sniff, you'll notice that it absolutely stinks of garlic. So it has these beautiful sort of spear-shaped leaves like this, and it is this lovely electric green colour, and it smells intensely like garlic. And that is that allicin, that chemical compound that we as humans are incredibly sensitive to. So keep your nose tuned in to smelling for onion and garlic. I have to say, I absolutely love this new jacket that I got from the guys at Rapa Nui. It's an Isle of Wight based company, and I love it because it's got this massive pocket on the front, which means that I can go foraging, whack everything that I need to in there, and have complete hands free for all sorts of stuff like walking the dog and pushing the pram, etc. So yeah, this jacket is one of my new favourite things, and you'll be seeing a lot of it over the coming months, I think. Like I say, if you can't be sure that your own foraging practice isn't putting unnecessary pressure on the ecosystem or the colony of wild garlic that you are picking from, then I recommend that you look to other members of the Allium family for that beautiful oniony flavour. Ones that I recommend that I know grow around here at the moment are few flowered leek, three-cornered leek, and also Neapolitan garlic. So Allium neapolitana, it is a beautiful little allium flower, and it is an escape from gardens. It's another Mediterranean plant. Three-cornered leek is also from the Mediterranean, and it's the one that you find growing on in huge clusters on road banks, and it sort of takes over, chokes out the native wildflowers and outcompetes everything basically. But it is almost exactly the same as spring onions and can be used in the same way. So you'll never have to pay for an onion again. So ones to learn are three-cornered leek, few flowered leek, and also Neapolitan garlic if you live in the south of the UK. And lots of them will be more abundant in towns and cities, definitely more abundant than our native onion. Allium ursinum, bear's garlic, wild garlic, more abundant than they will be. So if you're foraging in a town or a city, then you are more likely to find three-cornered leek than you are this. But you can use them in the same way. And that's all I'm really worried about when I'm thinking about it from a foraging and flavour point of view, is how I can use it in cooking and yeah, what benefits it can give me during the cooking process. So that's a long ramble about onions, but things to take away from it is that human beings can eat every member of the onion family, and we are sensitive to that garlicky, oniony smell. So a thing for you guys to do this week is to go and practice sniffing onions, you know, and go out there and see if you can forage for as many of the different species that I just mentioned. Just a fun fact, the alliums that you can get in garden centres that have the huge sort of firework-shaped pom-pom flowers in brilliant garish colours like yellows and reds and pinks and stuff like that, those flowers are also edible. Try putting them on a salad, and yeah, it's I don't grow them in my garden because they're way too garish. However, my mum does, and what I like to do if I go for a barbecue around there is just sort of strew them over the dinner plate, and they look absolutely lovely and taste slightly garlicky. Who knew? That'll do it for today, I reckon. You've got lovely sort of squeaky leaves. So this is a delicious and garlicky bounty, and I'm going to go home and cook some lovely wild garlic chicken Kievs for me and my girlfriend, who, bless her, has taken the baby on her own for the first time and allowed me to come out for an hour to film this. So Abby, if you're watching, thank you very much. I love you. I love you. So yeah. Oh dear. Sleep deprivation is real. I can barely even stand. Oh, right, there we go. Thank you very much for watching this short update video. Go out there and forage for some oniony things, wild garlic, three-cornered leek, whatever you want to, and comment down in the description below to let me know how you got on and what sort of things you're finding near where you are. Like I said, we are very busy at the moment. We are discovering how to be parents and basking in all of the joy that brings. So thank you for your patience. I will be still continuing the live streams just sort of on an ad hoc basis when I find time to do so. And please just bear with me whilst we find our feet and I can get back to making videos again. If you want to book yourself onto one of my foraging courses, they will be running regularly month by month throughout this year, and you can find all the details for that in the description below. My name is Joseph, this is Field Study, and until next week, take care.